there's a lot of clouds in the sky, but the sun is actually shining through, seems like, without an issue. So I guess it's nice. And what's going on today? I guess this was apparently a big thing when the government started sending you, I guess, emails and stuff like that. It relates to that story on how there was a residential school where they found 215 kids buried there, like their dead bodies. This one says, Senators mourn 215 indigenous children found buried at former residential school. Senators representing all groups delivered statements about the devastating discovery, including Senator Mary Jane McCallum, who shared the recollections of her own experience at residential school as a child. This is one of those things where I don't understand completely in terms of the whole history and all that. And as a result, there's a lot of, I guess, division and stuff now. I know they were asking for things like apologies and so forth, where apparently it wasn't provided or not good enough. And then people actually took down like this statue. It was like in Ontario. If this is how you pronounce it, it's something called the Egerton Ryerson Statue. Apparently this person was responsible or something like that, or in some ways had the ideas of things like residential school, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I guess they took it down and all that. And the funny thing is, even when you look at things like Google searches and stuff like that, it shows you here, it says permanently closed. To my understanding, they have no intent in actually, I guess, putting up a new statue and all that. And I guess one crazy thing about this is they were interviewing people apparently who went through that whole era, and they're saying there are more places like this with these types of grave sites. That's just crazy to think about. The more you think about it too in terms of reading this stuff, the more that NOTAM doesn't make any sense, because if there's more places to, I guess, discover for these bodies and stuff like that, wouldn't things like the drones and stuff help? And there's probably more, I guess you could say, independent people who would discover stuff like that accidentally. Or you could have people say, yeah, I remember in the past when this person attending here tried looking around this area. Then they can use the footage or whatever to try to scout out where they should look. On a lighter note, this is kind of interesting to read in terms of ways to get people to learn how to build a drone while at the same time flying it. This one says, drones with exoskeletons face off in soccer challenge. How do you train the next generation of pilots and aviation pros? Full contact drone sport seems like a good start. Much to the chagrin of aspiring pilots, drones will certainly play a leading role in many forms of aviation in a not too distant future. So how do you build a talent pipeline of kids who know how to fly and repair drones? Kyle Sanders, U.S. Drone Soccer Vice President and former U.S. Air Force combat pilot, is seeking to do just that by educating students in robotics, coding, and aerospace. Drone soccer, which according to a spokesperson looks a lot like Quidditch from the Harry Potter books, was introduced in South Korea in 2016 and has moved to the US as an educational and fun sport. And how does it work? It says drone soccer is an educational sport where students must first learn how to build, program, fly, and repair high-performance drones. The competition itself is an exciting full contact sport. These drones have a protective exoskeleton and are designed for collision. Equal teams of 3v3 up to 5v5 play inside a netted arena, and is an accessible game for new players, with growth opportunities through college programs and even the World Cup. Overall too, I think this makes way more sense in terms of just training someone to be, I guess, like a drone operator and stuff in general, versus just teaching them over the top stuff that doesn't even relate to them and only relates to manned aviation and all that. Oh no, the ducklings are trapped. Alright, see you guys later.